Hey, I'm Daniel and welcome to a quick solo playthrough of Neon Rain. This video is part of my first impression series where I try each of the 12 different heroes, and I will probably follow it up with a full review once I see how everything plays out. And well, enjoy the play. Alright, so today we have Flower against Pynk. Flower's star ability is for 4 stars, it deals 3 damage, then she also recovers throw from the discard pile and also gains 1 star back. And that throw recovery is very handy because of the passive ability Pollinate that says you may play a throw against opponent's counter card. So you're essentially countering opponent's counter, so that should be pretty fun. For the opponent Pynk, the star ability is called Soda Pop. For 5 stars, it deals 4 damage and also add 2 cards. Now I spoke with the game designers and they confirmed that this is somewhat a misprint on this particular ability. With the way it works now, with the rules as written, this is crazy strong, which was not intent of this particular card, but hey, it's kinda like a boss level challenge if you will. So if I'm gonna lose this fight, it's gonna be somewhat expected I guess, but of course if I win, that's gonna be pretty cool. Oh yeah, and for the passive ability of Pynk, Button Mash, it's when playing only buttons, add 2 damage, and just also to confirm, when playing it means only when attacking, so this effect doesn't work when defending. Alright, so as always, let me shuffle the card decks just to make sure everything is clear and transparent and unscripted and just random as you can have. So yeah, making sure everything is nice. I shuffled my player deck, now I'm shuffling the opponent's computer solo deck as well. So hopefully it's all randomized, and I'm drawing 7 cards to my hand. And just so you could see all the cards, I'm gonna lay them down like that instead of holding them actually in my hand. So that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which looks pretty nice I guess. Don't have any throws yet, but there is some good combination of buttons and joysticks. So I think I'm gonna start playing aggressively, combining these 2 buttons alongside the right joystick to maximize the damage. That would be 1 extra damage from this combo, plus 2 extra damage from combo with joystick, so that is 3 extra damage, which means this 3 card would deal 7 damage potentially. Now let's see what the opponent is reacting with, and I'm gonna reveal 2 cards because I'm playing on the hard mode, and wow, block and throw, this is so bad, because throw completely prevents my joystick and block completely blocks one of the buttons, so the only card I essentially playing is just this single button, so I'm just dealing 2 damage, bringing the opponent down to 23, and that's it, that's the end of my turn. Wow, definitely not as good as I was hoping for. Alright, now the opponent's attack, they attack with a single card as normal, and we have the right joystick and a button, and you know what, I think I'm gonna play Combo Breaker, just to avoid taking extra damage from this combo. And now I'm thinking if I should add another button, because remember that with Combo Breaker you can add a button when defending, so I think I'm gonna add this yellow button as well. So first I'm resolving counter cards, which is Combo Breaker in this case, so I'm dealing 2 damage to the opponent, bringing down to 21. Now the opponent is resolving the joystick, gaining 1 star, making 1 strike, so I'm removing top cards from my deck and also deal 1 damage, so I'm now down to 24, and this attack is resolved. Now I have 2 cards left in my hand and I'm not sure if I should play them, that doesn't seem too strong. So I think I'm just gonna draw on my turn, so I now have 2 cards, so I'm drawing back to 7, that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and that is the end of my turn. Now back to the opponent. They attack with a single card as usual, and wow, that is a lot of damage because not only it's 2 damage dealing buttons, it's also a combo, and also because of the passive effect, when playing only buttons add 2 damage, so that would be 7 damage in total. Wow. Now let's see if I can do anything to at least slightly mitigate that damage. Well, I guess first of all I could play Combo Breaker again, which would save me from taking at least 1 extra damage. Then I could also play this button to deal some damage back, and I also have some joysticks which I could potentially play as well. Not sure if I need to add any of those though, and remember that you can defend with only 2 cards. However, when you add in a button as part of playing Combo Breaker, this doesn't count as your limit. So you know what, I think I'm just gonna add this down joystick as well, because I'm gonna resolve joystick first. I'm actually gonna gain 1 shield token before taking damage, which also will help me to slightly mitigate some damage. So first I'm playing Combo Breaker because of the order of resolving counter counts first, and as part of that I'm also dealing damage back to the opponent, so bringing it down to 19 health. Now I'm resolving my down joystick, gaining 1 star and 1 shield token. And now it's the opponent's turn, and that is 6 damage in total, 2 from each of those buttons and 2 from the passive effect. I'm preventing one of those damage with my shield tokens, but I'm still taking 5 damage, so I'm now down to 19 as well. So we have equal score, 19-19, look at that. And that is the end of enemy's attack turn and as well as my defense phase. So let's see what now in my hand. Now with these 2 joysticks I could potentially already trigger my star ability, because those 2 joysticks that would give me extra star, which means I would have already 4, but I probably don't want to trigger this ability just yet, because I don't have any throws in my discard pile yet, so that would be a little bit of wasted, I guess. On the other hand, that still would deal some damage, and I'm also gonna gain a star back, and also some heal. Yeah, you know what, I think I'm still gonna play those cards, even though it's not very effective in a sense that I'm not gonna recover any throw, because I just don't have them in the discard pile yet, but I think I'm gonna play this anyway to heal and gain some stars, which will deal some damage, so this wouldn't be that bad anyway. Now let's see what the opponent is blocking with. Oh, and that is throw. And another throw. Wow, you just look at that. That ruins my plan completely, entirely. Although if I'm not mistaken, that is already a 3rd throw that we see in here, so there's probably just 1 throw left in this deck, which is good for me, I guess. And well, so the only thing that I do essentially is just dealing 1 damage, bringing the opponent down to 18. And that is the end of my attack because of those 2 throws. I'm not gaining any stars, any heal, nothing whatsoever. Now the opponent is attacking me, that is up joystick and a button, and I have nothing to play in defense, so I'm just letting the opponent do this whole thing. So they gain 2 stars and deal 1 damage, so I'm also down to 18, look at that. Okay, this attack is resolved. Now I have a single card, which is pretty pointless to play, so I'm gonna draw on my turn, back to 7 again, so that would be 2, then 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7, and finally I got a first throw, so that is pretty good, I guess. And that is the end of my turn anyway, so now back to the opponent. It's a single card, oh my goodness, and it's a pretty strong one. And this one is pretty bad for me in particular, because if I let the opponent play this whole combination, that means I will take extra damage because of the combo, but if I play my throw to completely get rid of this joystick, then this passive effect will kick in for adding 2 extra damage, so this is pretty bad regardless how I play it. But well, you know what, I think I'm gonna try to delay triggering this star ability as best as I can, so even though if I play this throw I will take 1 extra damage now because of the passive ability, I'll still probably do that because I want this throw to be in the discard pile, and I also want to slow down the star ability gaining. So yeah, I'm playing throw to counter this joystick, but that means I'm taking 4 damage, 2 from this button and 2 from the passive ability, so I'm now down to 14, which is pretty bad. And so this attack is resolved, and so is my counter. Now back to me, and I think I'm gonna play both of these red buttons alongside left joystick to gain some star and some heal as well. And now when I think about it, I actually think that I should probably save my throw to potentially counter for some other counters that the opponent might have now, but at least I wouldn't expect seeing another throw here because we already used, I believe, 3 of them. So let's see what the opponent is blocking with. There is nothing here, and block, yeah, this block is pretty bad, but at least this one is blank. This is pretty good. So one of my buttons is countered, so I'm not gonna play that, but I'm still dealing 2 damage, bringing the opponent down to 16. I'm also gaining 1 star, and I'm also gaining 2 heal because of this combo, so I'm at 16 as well. And look at this score, it's equal again. So my attack is resolved, this goes to the discard pile, and so as mine cards as well. Now the opponent is attacking again, and wow, that is a lot of damage again. That is 4 from just buttons alone, plus 1 because of the combo, and plus 2 because of the passive ability, so that is 7 damage in total, and I have nothing to prevent that. Wow. So well, I guess I just taken 7 damage, which brings me down to just 9 health, and this indeed looks pretty scary, and we haven't even triggered this star ability just yet. Wow. Now on my turn, I guess I could play all those 3 buttons, but this would also leave me completely defenseless against the next turn, so probably just gonna draw back to 7 again. So that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I didn't get any block or nothing to prevent damage, unfortunately, so this is not gonna help me against the next turn, but you know what, that's the end of my turn anyway, so yeah. Now the opponent is attacking again, this time it's just a single left joystick, so isn't too bad I guess, but there's nothing I can do about this anyway, so the opponent is just gaining 1 star and 1 heal, up to 17. And now it's my turn. This time I'll definitely will try to maximize the gaining of stars, so I could return my throw back to hand, which I'm sure will come in handy. So I'm gonna play those 4 stars will give me 5 stars because of the combo if I'll manage to play them alongside this red button. So fingers crossed that I will have all 5 stars. Now the opponent is blocking with 1 button back and 1 block, which I guess is pretty bad because the block is played first, even before any of my joysticks. So I guess I could have triggered my star ability to gain my throw to my hand to counter this block, but I don't think the timing would allow to do that because the counter cards played first. So this block essentially just blocks my button, but I am still able to gain 5 stars with this particular combo. So first I'm gaining 2 stars, which now means my star ability is firing off, so I'm removing those 4 stars to deal 3 damage to the opponent, now down to 14. I'm also gonna recover throw back to my hand, it should be somewhere right here. Now also gonna gain star back, and I'm now also continue gaining stars from this combo. That is 3 more stars, which means my star ability is triggering again, so that is 3 damage again, bringing the opponent down to 11. And I don't think I have any other throw in my discard pile, so unfortunately that is a bit of waste. Yeah, no other throws here, but I'm still gaining 1 star, so that was pretty good turn nevertheless. And now all of this is resolved. Move to the discard pile. Now the opponent is attacking. And that is pretty bad again, because if I'm gonna use my throw to counter this joystick, means it's gonna be a single button, and a single button will turn into 3 damage because of the passive ability. But if I'm not gonna use my throw, it means this soda pop ability will trigger, and they will add 2 more cards to the attack, so I definitely don't want this to happen. So I'm gonna play my throw to counter the joystick, so that means I'm just taking 3 damage from those buttons, so I'm now down to 6. And this attack is resolved. Now back to my turn, and I have a lot of buttons, but I have a feeling that I'm not gonna survive the next turn. There are still a couple of really strong attack cards in the deck, I believe with 3 buttons, so that would be potentially 9 damage to me. And with any joystick, with any star, the star ability will trigger as well. So yeah, I have a pretty bad feeling about next turn, so I think it's pretty pointless for me to attack this turn, because I won't be able to deal 11 damage anyway. So you know what, let me just draw back to 7, so that is 5, 6, 7. Well, at least I have 1 block, but of course let's see what the opponent is attacking with. And that is again a button and a joystick, so this is pretty bad regardless of how you look at this. Wow. So first of all, I'm gonna play block for sure to negate this button, so this is good, but I still can't do anything yet, which means the opponent will gain this star and also strike, so I'm discarding a top card from my deck, but also this ability kicks in, so I'm removing all those 5 stars, and this ability deals 4 damage, so I'm now down to 2 health, but most importantly, Pynk will add 2 more cards to the sequence of attack. There's 1 and 2, and yeah, this is pretty bad, because that is another star and another shield and another heal and 3 heals in fact and another star, but most importantly for this case it's 2 extra damage, which would be exactly enough to finish me off. Wow, so I guess I am KO. Pynk still has 11 health left. Wow, yeah, this is definitely a boss level challenge with this ability and this button. It's a crazy strong character, especially when you play it on the hard mode. Yeah, really tough fight. And that's it for today's session. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're curious to see more characters in action or hear my full thoughts later on, feel free to subscribe. And if you would like to support the channel more directly, you can do this over on Patreon, and I would appreciate this a lot as well. And well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.